Epic is just the latest in a long line of companies calling out Apple for questionable business practices recently. CNBC.com technology editor Stephen Kovac joins us now with the latest details. And Steve, I mean, this is like David and Goliath, but they're both kind of like Goliaths, right?
Yeah, Epic is not a tiny company. I think they're privately valued around $17 billion. They make a ton of money already, not just through the App Store, on Apple's App Store, but through PlayStation and Nintendo Switch and basically anything with a screen that can run this Fortnite game. And they're really poking the bear here, though. Apple is the dominant platform if you want to make money on mobile, and they theoretically want to be there, but they're sick of paying this 30% cut to Apple for every transaction.
All right, so this is interesting here, and perhaps we'll turn to you, Mike. This notion that Apple has been the market darling for such a long time. We talk about this $2 trillion mark that it may be coming up onto pretty soon. How important or how unimportant is an Epic Games lawsuit against their App Store to their overall business prospects down the line? I mean,
Dom, in isolation, it doesn't have that much of an impact, but to the extent that it calls into question the margins of its services business, right? I mean, it invented the App Store. It's had this kind of consistent policy, with some exceptions of taking a 30% cut of these app developers. I think as a general principle, it causes people to say, one, wow, Apple really is dominant. It really has these lush margins based on charging other developers for this stuff. On the other hand, if there's any compromise to that, if it does buckle a little bit, I think it's an issue. I think it's interesting the market right now is taking a wait and see, just the cash flow of Apple and its massive balance sheet. All those things overwhelm this concern right now. But to the extent it makes people say, hey, why are we paying 30 times earnings for this company for the services side if, in fact, it's not bulletproof?
So Frank, this is an interesting story because Apple and Google do have a cut they take of all of these transactions, and Epic is trying to circumvent that. You maybe can't blame either side for being a little mad about this. Why exactly is this important for Epic?
Well, you know, I'm a big gamer myself, so if Epic's complaint would somehow make things cheaper for gamers, sure, I might be on their side. But when you look at the numbers, Epic in the last 30 days, according to Steve's story, they made $43 million from the Apple App Store, only $3 million from the Google App Store, even though it's a bigger platform. Well, sometimes you have to pay to play, and these are basically sales leads. People are buying more when they go on that Apple App Store. So Epic, if you want to be on that Apple App Store, you just have to pay for it.
Seema, are you a gamer?
I am not a gamer. My fiance is, so I definitely am around someone who likes to play these games. But we'll have to see if Epic is willing to, play this fight with Apple, and how far it will take this conversation around the App Store and whether Apple is in fact monopolizing its App Store and will change its practices. We know CEO Tim Cook cares a lot about brand and perception. So given the unique position that Epic is in, and in fact that it has, all of these users who are so young, will that perhaps push Tim Cook to change Apple's ways? And it's sort of that 30% revenue that it takes from Apple developers. I mean, we'll see.
All right, Steve Kovac, last word to you here. How scared should Alphabet and Apple be because of this kind of a lawsuit?
It's those massive user bases that are really the key here. If you think about it, with 350 million people playing Fortnite for billions of hours every month, and then you look at these other companies with these massive user bases. You have Spotify, you have Tile, you have Sonos. These people will be upset if their favorite apps are pulled from their favorite devices. And that is something Apple has to listen to. If the customers start complaining, then they might have to tweak the rules a little bit to make this happen. And even looking forward to the future of gaming for some services coming down the line from Microsoft and Google, those aren't allowed on the App Store either, and those potentially compete with Apple's own gaming product. And so people are going to want to have more choice and the ability to play these, and Apple might have to start listening not just to the developers, but what their own customers want.
All right, big deal for sure. Thanks very much, Steve Kovac. And for more on Apple's Epic App Store battle, be sure to go to CNBC.com. That story is up there right now.